Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a recipe video and it's for salted caramel Millionaire shortbread. These are to die for, if I do say so myself. If you like something that's sweet and salty at the same time, you're going to love them. So keep watching to find out how you make them. So the ingredients you're going to need for this recipe are, first of all, the shortbread. You're going to need 225 grams of plain flour, 175 grams of unsalted butter, 75 grams of caster sugar, and 1 vanilla pod, or like me, you can use vanilla extract. And for the caramel, you're going to need 200 grams of unsalted butter, 4 tablespoons of golden syrup, 1 397 gram tin of condensed milk, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And finally, for the topping, you're going to need 350 grams of chocolate. You then need to set your oven for 180 degrees Celsius, or if you have a fan assisted oven like myself, 170. So now you're going to want to line your baking tray. I use butter for mine, but you can use greaseproof paper if you prefer. However, I do find that it can leave some paper marks, but it really is up to you. So now we can start the shortbread, and for this we just add all the ingredients for that together. So the flour, the sugar, the butter, which is a little bit stuck there, and finally the vanilla extract, which I tend to go a bit over the top with. I put 2 in, you only really need 1. So now you're going to want to rub all those ingredients together with your hands. This can be a little bit messy, but I find it quite enjoyable getting stuck in there and getting my hands dirty. So just keep rubbing this together and against the side of the bowl until it starts to form a dough. This might take a little bit of time, but bear with it because eventually it will come together and it should form a nice little ball. You just get all the bottom bits off the bottom there, and yeah, it should look like this. Now you're going to want to pop your dough into a baking tray and just use your hands to push it out to fill the whole tray. I sometimes also like to use a spoon just to get it nice and smooth and exactly how I want it. Then you just need to poke holes into your dough using a fork. I do this in rows, but that's just my kind of anal nature, but you can just do it all over the place. Seriously, just poke into it. So when you're finished, it should look a little something like this. So then you're going to want to put it into your oven at either 170 or 180 degrees, depending on what kind of oven you have, and then just set the timer for 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes is up, you're going to want to bring the temperature down to 150 degrees or 140 for a fan assisted oven, and then set that for 35 minutes. So now that your shortbread is baking, you're going to want to make the caramel. You're going to want to take out a saucepan, and to it add your 200 grams of butter, the condensed milk, which looks amazing coming out of that can, and I try and get it all in there, you don't want to waste anything, and then your sea salt, and finally the 4 teaspoons of syrup. I made the mistake of using those plastic measuring spoons to do this, and it got a little bit messy, so I had to get out a spoon to help me out a little bit there. So now you're going to want to turn your hob on to a low heat. I put mine at 3. That's just because with making caramel, I find it's really easy to burn it. So just to be on the safe side, I like to build the heat slowly. So through the process, I might turn the heat up or back down again, depending on what I feel. Now you just want to watch out for it starting to boil. And when this happens, you want to set your timer for 10 minutes. And at this time you want to be continuously stirring the caramel, and this is just so that it doesn't burn and stick to the bottom of the pan. This might feel like it takes like a really long time, but eventually you'll start to see the colour change and the caramel thicken, and you may see some of those little brown specks in the caramel. Don't worry too much about those. I have never figured out a way to get rid of them or not have them, and they haven't made any difference to the flavour at all. Now when that's finished, just take it off the heat. So your shortbread should come out a golden brown colour, and just so you know, it should be soft because shortbread hardens as it cools. So you just want to pour all of that caramel on top of the shortbread there and make sure you get it all out. It looks so nice. I love this part because I get to lick the spoon. At this point I like to just drop it on the surface lightly a few times. This is just to flatten it out really and just to make it look more presentable in the end. So now it's time to put your shortbread into the fridge to chill. Now I put mine in there for 2.5 hours, but I think for these things longer is always better, so just go again by what you feel. So after it's cooled, you're going to want to add chocolate to the shortbread. So I just break this up in the packet because it's a lot less messy and a lot easier to get it all done properly. I then tip it into a microwavable bowl and then pop it into the microwave. Now I started off really slowly, so I'm just going to put it in for 10 seconds to begin with, and then I'm going to take it out, give it a quick mix, really quick, and then put it in for another 20 seconds. And again, take it out, mix, and then in for 30. This is just my method, you don't have to do it this way, but I found that this worked perfectly for this chocolate, and within 30 seconds it was done. So now you get the fun job of tipping the chocolate onto the shortbread. Now this looks absolutely amazing. I'm wanting to go and get some chocolate right now, it looks so good. So then you just smooth it all down, making sure you get all the way to the edges. And then I like to just tip it slightly and again bang it on the surface just to make it nice and flat and more presentable. So finally you can pop the shortbread into the fridge to set. I put this in for about 4 or 5 hours, but you can do it overnight if that's what you prefer. So these are the finished caramel shortbreads. They are seriously to die for. They are perfect amounts on each layer and they're a perfect mix of sweet and salted if you like that kind of thing. So yeah, I cannot recommend them enough. Thank you for watching this video, and if you do decide to make them, please tweet me your pictures of how they turn out at Laura Jane Mackey, and please like and subscribe for more videos and comment below if there is anything in particular that you'd like to see me bake.